This is the Inspection Pro Joe podcast, where we break down everything you need to know to grow a successful home inspection company. Join hosts Joey and Jake as they share insider knowledge and chat with the industry's best on how to take your business to the next level.
This program is brought to you by Pair Payments.
Welcome back to Inspection Pro Joe, episode
22.
Today we have with us Dave Kogan, former director of marketing at ASHI. We're very happy to have him today to talk about marketing and the future of marketing in the industry. Nice to have you on, Dave.
Thanks. It's great being here.
Yeah, great to have you on, Dave. Can't wait to dive into this. And I think you're going to have a lot of value for our listeners. And we're just really excited to have you.
I hope to have a good information for them and maybe hopefully someone will learn something.
I'm
Amen.
sure they will.
Take a nugget or two out of it.
So, Dave, you and I were talking before the show, and you told me that your background in the industry is really more of a blue-collar background.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into the industry?
Sure. Well, I mean, so I've been kind of bouncing around and doing a lot of work with various manufacturing companies and such. So I worked with like an awards manufacturer. I was their director of PR. You'll have heard of the awards. It's the Oscar, the Emmy, the MTV Video Music Awards. So I worked at the company that made those. I worked for a company that does that makes vacuums, sweepers, and scrubbers, and they're a manufacturing company called Tornado Industries.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all peripheral. You know, like a lot of the people that we worked with was the sanitation industry and the professionals and the private label guys and people using their equipment. So we'd be at some of these peripheral conferences. And then when I got with ASHI, you know, they were looking for someone to direct a new marketing person. And like, well, okay, I want to give back in some way. I kind of wanted to go towards some nonprofit work and provide some kind of marketing for them. And that was a great experience. That was fantastic. I wouldn't take back any minute of that job at all. It was wonderful. Meeting the home inspectors, meeting the vendors. It's been fantastic. Seeing where the industry were when I came into it in 2013, as they were kind of putting the pieces back together after that fall of 2007 to 2009,
Mm-hmm.
and then kind of growing to where they are today. So it's definitely been very interesting.
I'm sure it has been. It sounds like there's a lot that went on in that time frame, and I'm sure you learned a lot about marketing in the industry in that time frame as things started to really change. So what do you see have been the big changes in marketing within the industry so far?
So, I mean, besides all the mergers and acquisitions from companies, and whether it's more of we need to pair up with other companies, or kind of more, I think to some extent it's some companies looking at it, they're owned by almost kind of like some of the home inspection companies that are out there, where they're mom and pop groups, husband and wife teams that are that are owning these companies.
Mm-hmm.
And saying, what's my exit strategy? How am I going to retire? Where am I going? Am I going to keep doing this well into my 80s, or who's going to take over this company? And I think you saw that with Inspection Support Network with like Dan Huber, who's like, okay, you're getting on into his year, and is he going to retire? What's the scoop here? Is he going to pass the torch on to somebody? And so selling it to Porch seemed like a really great idea, and I think that was a really good merger idea, especially from obviously Porch's standpoint. And some of their recent acquisitions are the same thing, like with Palm Tech software. Like you had Will and Adam Singer. Are they going to keep going, and how much longer, and are they going to stay in this business? So I think you see a lot in that regard. But then also I see an influx in social media, but I'm not sure really being used the right way.
How do you see it being used now?
They're all on Facebook. They're a little bit on Twitter. Twitter's not really the platform for home inspection.
Mm-hmm.
While a lot of articles out there tell you, oh, you got to be on Twitter. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You're not a celebrity. You don't need to promote an icon and get 1 million likes.
Yeah.
They're on Instagram, but the trend is still Facebook, even though every article, everything out there is telling you, oh, you got to go with Snapchat, you got to be on TikTok. No, you don't. You can do video, you can do short videos on YouTube. You can upload that stuff to Facebook. Is it good to have those pages? Sure. It's good to be. You have to be out there. So you need to have your YouTube channel. You should, if you're going to do videos and short little videos on online, you got to make everything linkable, and you got to put yourself out there, and you have to be. Do you have a Google My Business page? You don't? Get one. It's Google's. It's not like people are going, oh, I gotta go search for this home inspector on Bing. Like no one's using that. Or Yahoo, which is good for their finance reports, and that's about it. No one's really out there on these other search engines. You gotta have your site on Google My Business. You should have a Facebook business page. No, it should not be your personal page. Mm-hmm. Stop using your personal page as your business page. Because when you join these groups, the social media groups, you got to make sure that you're in private groups and not closed groups, because closed groups are searchable online. So all your comments are out there in the public space, even though that's a closed group. So, if you're very vocal in them, someone's doing a search for a home inspector in your area and they see your comments from this closed group but not private group, you're being seen. And that's a bad thing. So especially if you're very vocal and very outspoken, I guess that's the best way to put it.
So I've heard that there's no such thing as bad press, but I think that today you really do have to be careful on social media because everything you say is recorded. So yes, it's great for marketing because it's low cost in time and capital, but you do have to be careful, right? Is that you're seeing it being dangerous?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm from the camp that there's no such thing as bad press.
Yeah.
However, that statement was made before social media came out, before Facebook was so prevalent, and people would argue literally about everything. I mean, how many times have you gone on to one of the home inspection groups and seen somebody complain to somebody else, to the entire group as a whole, about someone asking about ladders? It's like, oh, they already asked about ladders. Why aren't we? And then there's this whole dissertation about why, you should be searching the group. Well, no one really knows to search a group looking for a topic. They want current answers. They don't want to hear, from last year about their topics about this specific ladder type when another one came out recently and people want to hear about it. Or, they ask each other about warranties, or they're asking each other about software updates every year. So the software that was great last year may not be as great this year due to their updates. Some may have been bought, and so you just have no idea. So yeah, it's crazy. It's and you have to be really careful about what you're saying out there, because if you're very vocal and you're dissing whatever it may be, and it could be something in home inspection, it could be something about what's going on in the world right now and the pandemic and with everything that's going on, that people who are searching for home inspectors are seeing this, and there's no amount of lemonade that you can make from lemons that are going to turn around your statements that are out there in perpetuity, that can always be searched and always be found, and you're going to be linked to forever. So while there's no such thing as a bad impression or a bad review in my book, it's really not that case anymore with social media, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, I think the important thing too is for our listeners is you have to control your messaging. On your business page, in your personal page. We're running business owners, we're running a business, and we're being looked at every which way on our personal feed, on our social media, YouTube channel, even this recording. People can search this. I was at dinner last night, and I'm telling the guy, I'm like, we are so easily searchable. If I meet a girl at a bar, all she has to do is become friends with one of my friends, and she can find me. And it's the same type of thing. we are so easily identified where if somebody who doesn't even know you can find you without even knowing your name, just your phone number. I mean, just a piece of, or a picture, just your piece of data with artificial intelligence. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so now more than ever, you know, I fully support the business owner who wants to, you know, I'm going to be a business owner and I'm going to say how I feel. Great. That's your prerogative as a business owner to be able to do that. But just know whatever you put out there is going to be out there for the public.
Absolutely.
You know, and I know for me personally, I want to serve as many clients as possible. So I'm not going to put political stuff on social media. I'm not going to, you know, and to each his own, right? But
absolutely.
You just have to be, you have to have a plan for messaging, and it's got to be balanced, or you have to do it through all platforms, not just your business, but also your personal, because Dave, you're exactly right. They're going to search you by name when they're looking for you, and you're going to come up on all these different things. And you know what? Getting in a fight with somebody on an inspection group, come on, man.
Right.
Like, come on.
It's crazy.
Those really should be places for you to grow, for you to get great information, not to like have a HGTV or a reality TV show saga on them. And you're right, that happens every day.
It does.
That's like a daily thing. You know, I don't want to waste my time in the weeds doing stuff like that. Anyway, I want to focus on growth, positive stuff. You know,
Looks like we lost Joey.
You're professional.
So
you know what I mean?
Yes, Joey, I lost you for a second. So I'm going to take a beat. We're going to take a second to hear a word from our sponsor, Pair Payments, and then we're going to get right back and talk about the future of marketing in the industry.
The home inspection industry is highly competitive, and you need an edge to stay on top. You certainly can't afford to give profit away for no reason. But what if I told you credit card processors may be overcharging you and robbing you of profits you've worked hard to earn? It's time to put an end to being overcharged for payment processing. It's time to take back your profits. That's why we've put together a free report, How to Avoid Being Overcharged by Your Payment Processor. Head over to takebackyourprofits.com, download the report, and put an end to being overcharged for credit card processing. You've worked hard for your sales, and you deserve to keep it. What are you waiting for? Go to takebackyourprofits.com and download your report today.
What is working for home inspectors right now that someone needs to do right now to move forward?
Truth be told, I mean, the tried and true has worked for all home inspectors. When you go in the groups or whatever and they say, oh, I don't talk to realtors. Oh, okay, I don't know what the heck you're talking about, because that's still 90% of a lot of these guys' bread and butter. Whether you're word of mouth or you're just starting out, you still need to get realtors on your side. You can have 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or whatever it may be that you're going and talking to. But really, it's about getting your name out there. Whether it's, do you need to wrap your entire vehicle? No, you can put it on. When you're driving up next to somebody, are you really looking out the side of your vehicle and reading what's on the side of theirs? If their name is there on the website, great. But it's on the back of your vehicle, because at least you're out there promoting yourself. Are you, are you as online in as many searchable places as you possibly can be? Do your Google My Business page and cut it off after. I mean, I agree with Nathan Thornberry on this. You don't need 9 million reviews. You just need enough, which is what? Is that 50? Is that 100? Cut it off. When you have all the 5-star reviews, you don't want to get a 2-star review that drags it down. It's like school grades, right?
Yeah.
Have Yelp, have a get on Facebook, have these different pages that you can be searchable on, but you don't need to constantly, upgrade to all these different things all the time. You can get a you can be on like foreclosure.com website. You can go onto Zillow and advertise yourself in that area. What's marketing's motto is you got to spend money to make money. Join all the associations. If you're in Florida, join FABI, join ASHI, join NACHI. If you get one lead from all of those places, it's paid for each of your memberships, right? And then you get all the benefits from all of them. So, you want to be searchable. So like if you're, is it about, you can have okay SEO on your own webpage, but if you're not listed anywhere else, how are you competing in that space, right? So, if you're on all these different sites, that's great. If you have if you're in an area where there's a lot of homes that have decks, take the deck class from Nadra. You can take the deck course from ASHI or InterNACHI, but that doesn't get you, then pay for the membership from Nadra. You take the class, tech deck course. What is it? It's a 4-hour course, half-hour tests, and then you pay for the membership, which is $100, and now you're listed on Nadra's find an inspector on Nadra's site. So now you're open to a lot more people. So it's that kind of thing where you kind of join the different associations and get yourself out there more, and your listing out there more, so then people see more of you. It's not just if they find your one Google My Business, okay, they see that one thing. People are looking for second and third opinions, right? So with lack of word of mouth, because there's a lot of voices out there, the best way to get that word of mouth is show that you're literally everywhere, that you're getting a good education, that you're connected to the associations in the industry, not just the national ones, but the state one. Is there a regional one? Join your regional one. It's not, when you look at things as an average annual income versus am I working tomorrow, you'll do a lot better in life. So you'll be able to say, oh, I've joined these things. I know it costs X amount of dollars. I know it costs how many inspections. However, this is a good thing for me. I'm listed all these different places, and people can find me in all these different ways. It gets your name out there. That's the way, really, what people need to be doing now, and promoting themselves better, and getting the most looks, especially online. You're listed everywhere. Yeah, it'll be hard not to find you.
So do you think it's more important to build yourself into a community and really get the networking in a community before you target customers?
No, not at all. I think you should be spending a lot of your time when you're marketing. You need to be out there marketing to the public. And that's the one thing this industry does poorly. NACHI has this, they've made their education, they spend a lot of time and a lot of money making themselves an accredited school, and that's fabulous, but they advertise it to home inspectors. And once you're a home inspector, you've got that pre-licensing course. Do you really need the accredited school? Maybe. I mean, are you looking for credits to become, to get more college credits? Maybe, but who cares? They should be marketing, in my opinion, out there to the masses, out to trade schools, out to everybody else, saying, hey, look at this program that we have. This is our education. ASHI does it too. Well, we've got this great program. We're going to advertise it to home inspectors. It's like, no, marketing to home inspectors. They're already home inspectors. Hence, calling them home inspectors. So
all you're going to get is referrals.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so you've got a school that's for pre-licensing. We're all marketing to the same people. And when you're, a lot of times they'll do ad keywords on Google, or they'll do Facebook advertising. And one of their target keywords is home inspection.
Yeah.
I don't know, it should be trade school. It should be, they should be looking at different keywords, trying to get the public to come in, as opposed to other home inspectors. If you're doing continuing education, sure, market to home inspectors. But if you're trying to bring more people into the market, if you're trying to advertise as a home inspector, if you're trying to market your business, why are you joining the home inspector group page? Shouldn't you be on the realtor group page talking to realtors? So shouldn't you be talking to the referral network? Shouldn't you be talking to builders and contractors? And as much as we all hate contractors, they might refer you. If you have, and I think that's one of the areas where home inspectors can grow, is that find a contractor in your area that you're friends with. I think all trades are friends with, they have a friend in all these different areas that they refer, whether it's a plumber or electrician or a roofer, your general contractor, your painters, your remodelers, whatever it may be, your deck installers, whoever it may be, that you go out and you become friends with them. You create your own little BNI group pretty much within this trade group. So then you're referring each other business. So that remodeler who says, oh, you've got a deck, I could easily inspect this and rebuild it for you, but maybe I should have a guy who's, trained in this type of inspection to come out and really tell you what we really need to do before we just tear it down and rebuild it, or the roofer is like, if you're if you're out there, and is it it depends on the code of ethics of your association, but really it's, if you're inspecting a roof, it's not necessarily telling, if you're telling the homeowner or the home buyer or whoever it may be that you're working for, hey, you've got some issues with the roof, go to my website, I've got some roofers on there. If you like what I've done for you, here's a list of 3 or 4 roofers. If the realtors are able to refer you 2 or 3 home inspectors, you should be able to refer 2 or 3 plumbers, 2 or 3, and you're building this rapport with one another, and then they'll refer you. They'll see something and they'll refer you. I mean, it's just really about getting your name out to the right people to build your business. And when you're doing it very insular within the industry, you're not helping yourself. I mean, you can ask home inspectors about ladders. I'd like to ask a roofer about a ladder. They kind of know. They're on roofs, more often than the home inspectors are, even though some home inspectors don't climb roofs, and they're like, oh, just use a drone. Oh, okay. I'll use a drone, or I use binoculars. I don't know what the binoculars do. I mean,
Well, I think, you brought up a good point a little while ago about, I think it's so important for home inspectors to search your name on Google, search your business on Google. I did this probably a couple weeks ago, and one of the things I was shocked about was Better Business Bureau was right there. And I had a complaint come in, never really checked it. I was a B- rating. And that was on the first page of Google. So imagine if a realtor refers 3 companies, right? 3 home inspection companies. They get to mine, and I have all these great reviews. And then they get down to the Better Business Bureau. They say, oh, Better Business Bureau, because they're known. They click on it, and now they see a B- license revoked. Holy, they just found, and it's on the first page. I saw that, and I was like, oh my God. Like, I thought the Better Business Bureau, bluntly, I think it's a scam. But if they're going to be
pay to play now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, pay to play. And that's all I had to do was pay $700 for the year. And they're like, oh, you're A+ now. I'm like, that's bull crap.
Yeah, it's extortion.
But again,
really
extortion. It goes back to them Googling your name. And now they go there, and I'm an A+. It's just that little piece that's like 700. Like, wow, if I was on the 3rd or 4th page or 2nd page, probably don't even bother with that. But because Better Business Bureau is well known, first page, so I strongly encourage every one of you, Google your personal name, Google your business name, and see what you find. Because I'm sure there's areas where you can start to clean up organically, without paying a social media guy or a marketing guy, that can clean you up so you look better when that realtor gives you home inspectors, you have an advantage.
The other thing is really to clean up your own image. If you don't want to pay somebody to do it, you really have to start flooding social media, and not just social media, but the web pretty much, with good news about you and your company. So I think Scott Baker does a really great job of this out in California. He goes out there and he inspects, and he's not talking about his crawler or anything like that, but he posts on social media, I'm at this house, thank you for coming, thank you realtor for using me, and he posts this. So all you see when you look up Scott Baker and his Scott Baker Baker Inspection Group, it's just house after house of him thanking these realtors over and over again, and he's connected to his realtor. So anything that's out there, it's totally buried. And if there is a bad review, and I don't think I've ever seen a bad review for the guy, but if there is one, it's just getting totally bumped out by these. So you have to do a real search. I mean, you probably have to search 10, 15 pages down to even find, if there is a bad review, to find one. And I don't think there is one. So it's that kind of thing where you can easily, And there are PR websites that are free. You just have to do a little search and find, and it's not Newswire and it's not PR Newswire, but there are a few out there where you can blast out your own news. So if you've got a new hire, or you're doing a new technique, or if you're now including a new service, that's all press worthy.
Yeah.
Does anyone really care? Nah, maybe. But the reality is that it's something good about you, and you're putting it out there, and it's new. And just like with Google, they'll bump it up first. So it kind of moves that business. You know, if you're not going to pay $700 to the Better Business Bureau, it at least moves it down in the search engines. So yeah, I mean, anything that you do, if you donate food to a food pantry, you do it in the, hey, you know, Dave Kogan just donated, 20 cans to his local food pantry. Is it newsworthy? No. Do lots of people do it? Absolutely. But it pushes things down, and you can easily do that.
That's it.
That's so smart. So smart.
So it sounds like a lot of this stuff with marketing, we've always known this. It's empathizing, right? You gotta. So when you're writing copy, when you're writing, marketing material, you have to know who exactly you're trying to speak to, and then when you're trying to, when you're trying to manicure your image online, right? You have to empathize with your client. All right, where are they going? Where are they searching? And how can I make myself look the best to get more business? I love that.
Yeah, one of the main things, and I think a lot of people are so focused on social media now that they keep forgetting that there's other ways to be in front of potential, users of your services. And that's, while you're online and everything, you're also, people forget about the traditional marketing and the guerrilla marketing. Are you in a town that has a great bus service? Okay, so, how much is it to put posters up in the bus kiosks or on a park bench, on the benches near the, everyone drives by them and they're like, oh, that lawyer or whatever. How many times do you remember that number in that park bench, where it looks like someone's sitting on it? Or, if you're in a more, not as much of as dense populated area, and they have billboards along some of the highways. If you pay 3 months on a billboard, which by the way, they're fairly cheap now to do a billboard comparative to running, a year worth of Facebook ads that might not get you anywhere. You run a billboard, a lot of times, if they don't have someone following up after your 3 months, they leave it up there because they don't want to have a bare billboard on the highway. So you get a lot more longevity out of that, and you're up there. You just have to make sure that it's 8 words or less, because you're barreling by it at 70 miles an hour. So you have to make sure that it's enough. It's like, need a home inspection, or need home inspection or whatever. And then you do a website, not this long-winded, like, Dave's Home Inspection Services and remediation.com. You have to have something short and sweet that people read and understand, that they can get when they're whizzing by you. And that's some pretty good advertising that you're getting. It's almost that you can forget about it. You just do it and you forget about it. You don't have to update the advertising on it. You don't have to do any of that. And if they're doing it in the towns, or they're painting a mural on a wall in the town or something, some trafficked area, go ahead and do that. People really don't. They're all, for home inspectors, they're doing the same thing. I need rack cards to go into the realtor's office that no one really goes into anymore. What you really want to do is ask them if you can advertise the printed pages that they tape in their window. Can I put my advertisement on this? And what's it going to cost to do this? No one does it. It's that kind of thing where you have to think outside the box a little bit to promote yourself a little bit more. I'm not saying eschew the stuff that's, the social media and things that are already out there, but you want to get in front of the public somehow. So if they're walking in a strip mall, they see the Remax office, they say, oh, there's houses, there's all these taped up, images of homes in the windows. Well, I've got some time. I'm going to read this window. And then on every single page is your ad. Like, that's kind of cool. It's just, need a home inspector. Here's this guy. No one's asking about that. And you just say, hey, I'll throw whatever. If I'll buy your paper, I'll pay for your reams of paper that you have to, how much is a ream of paper? So I'll buy a ream of paper. I'll pay for your ink for the month. Just throw my name on there as long, website and phone number on there with all your printed listings in the window, or all the printings that you give to all your realtors, so when they're going out to the open houses, that when they hand out the information to the prospective buyer, here's information about the house, you're already printed on there.
Yeah.
And no one's doing that. You can
That's great.
leave your business cards everywhere. And I suggest printing up a ton of business cards and leaving them literally everywhere. The back part should be an ad, and the front part should be, obviously your information, and make it a matte coat. If you make it shiny, no one could write on it. Forget it. Leave a space that someone can make a note or something like that, whatever. I mean, I know that's, 101, but you literally leave them everywhere. You're pressing flesh, you're talking to somebody, it doesn't matter. You leave your business card literally everywhere. That's why you print thousands of them, because the more they see it, you tack it up on every bulletin board in every coffee house you go to, or every hot dog stand you go to, every place that has a bulletin board in it. Panera, Corner Bakery, the local coffee shop, I think Kinko's, some of them have the bulletin boards. Wherever they have it, put it up there. Advertising the penny saver. Do you know how many people pick up the penny saver at their local grocery store? A lot. How many get the monthly clip saver booklets in the mail about with all the restaurants and stuff in there, and the guy who needs the 8 guys who can do blinds on your house and all that kind of stuff? I've never seen a home inspector in any of them.
Wow.
And then really, if you want to be on social media, get on nextdoor.com. I can't stress that enough. Nextdoor.com, if you guys are you guys familiar with that, Nextdoor?
I don't think I am.
So Nextdoor is a neighborhood app. It's all about your neighborhood. It's like, I'm on mine, and the name of my subdivision is called Old Farm Village, and it butts up to Westchester Farms or something like, I don't know, these crazy names. When I grew up, you had, how do you get to someone's house? Oh, he lives near this cross section of streets, and now it's all subdivision names. So you get into your subdivision and you can list yourself as a homeowner, but also as your business. So anytime, and you can have notifications come to your phone, and anytime anyone's asking any kind of question about their house, which, by the way, they all are, unless they're talking about skunks. But really, they're always asking about questions about the house, and you can answer it every single time, and it comes up your name and your business. And it's the easiest, freest advertising you can get. And by the way, you live in a house that's built in this subdivision. How many designs of homes are there in your subdivision? 4. So, and you live in one of them, so therefore the layout of the home. Yeah. They might be, oh, that guy knows this house, versus this other guy who doesn't. I'm going to hire my neighbor.
You're building rapport. Yeah, you're building legitimacy, and you're establishing yourself as an expert in the community as well. That's
absolutely awesome. You are building yourself up without really doing a whole heck of a lot of work. As long as you can make marketing about, really not about work, it's more becomes rote. It becomes something that you do every day. And even if you spend 10 minutes a day on it, you don't have to spend that much time on it. It's like doing, I can do 7 minutes of exercise today and have rock hard abs in 8 months. I can do the same thing with marketing. I can have rock hard marketing, within no time at all. If I just kind of, be on social media, be cognizant of what's going on out there, not speaking out of turn and berating somebody else for their viewpoint, and doing a little bit of outside the box thinking on marketing. And I know a lot of people don't like that, hearing that outside the box thing, but you have to be outside the box and get out in front of the public, because that's where your business is coming from, not other home inspectors.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's some really, really great information, a lot of golden nuggets, and I can't wait to see what some of our listeners are able to do with this great advice and great information.
Hell yeah, man. This has been awesome, Dave. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, this has been extremely valuable. I'm going to implement some of this stuff in my own business. It's been great.
Yeah.
I'm happy to share at any time. So,
you know what? We're going to have you come back on.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll have to find another time to have you on, Dave. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thanks for having me again.
Is there anything that before we go that you want to talk about or plug?
Definitely be involved in what's in the marketplace. So if you're, and I will plug this. I know some people really look at, well, what's this guy doing? Our warranties a big thing. I'll say this with Inspector Services Group, and I know that Nathan's outspoken. He'll probably shoot me for saying that, but really, the guy knows his stuff, and the products are awesome. If you're not doing radon, do radon. If you're not doing sewer scopes, why? If there's technology in your industry, you have to be doing it. You just have to be. A, you make more money doing it. B, don't be the guy who's not doing it and then wondering why you're not getting business. So I know Nathan offers, all these wonderful services and warranties, and the stuff is colorful and looks great on your website. So, if you're offering that and someone else isn't, why? Again, join other associations, get education from the people who provide it, not from the one place that says, hey, I can give you everything under one fell swoop. Go to the actual people who know what they're talking about. Go to organizations like the North American Deck and Rail Association, NADRA, and get your deck certification. Get on their website. You can do a 1-year or 3-year membership from what I understand. So do those things. Now you're listed someplace else, and and then market yourself as a deck inspector. So if you're not getting home inspections, since the deck's not considered part of the home inspection, guess what? Now you inspect decks and you charge X amount of dollars and you can do decks. How many decks are out there? There's over 30 million, I think. I think it's the stat that's beyond their useful age. So, Jake, you're in the Cape, Joey, you're in Florida, right? Joey,
Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia. There's lots of decks out there. I'm in Chicago. Yeah. Oh, we had a massive deck collapse a few years ago just on these apartment buildings alone. So it's just, it's get out there and really differentiate your business. And when multi-inspector firms tell you about that, actually do it. That's how they're doing it. You wonder how they do it. I'm like, well, they're differentiating their business. They're doing pest inspections. They're doing, they're recommending remediation. They go, they know about radon. They're all out there doing a lot more than what your average inspector is really doing. And then that average inspector is wondering, how am I losing business? How is this guy charging $199 for his home inspection? Well, easily. He's tacking on all these other things and he's putting it up above like $600, $700, $800 a pop. So that's how they're doing it. So that's what I would do. And if there's stuff out there that can differentiate yourself, do it. Like I said, Nathan's stuff is great. There's that, Nachi has that buyback guarantee program, peace of mind. Everyone loves it. So whether, if that's good for you, do it. And I'm not affiliated with Nachi, but that's one of the great programs they have is that buyback guarantee. It's just peace of mind for people. They love seeing that. And if, if Porch or someone else has these great programs, get involved in it. And if you want some more advice on whether you should use Home Advisor, I know it's a sticking point and people don't like it. There are ways to use these programs without getting robbed by them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and I think, as a business owner, it's opportunity cost of marketing dollars, right?
Yeah.
Where are you going to spend the money the best? And I think you can't, because bluntly, you can't do everything. We don't have the capacity to do it. You have to decide what's best for you and your business and what's going to generate the most business for you.
Yep.
Because you can't buy all the great shiny things, right? Especially if you're just starting out. But you do have to get, and I think you said it perfectly, Dave, get with other successful home inspection companies, see what they're doing, and then make it your own.
Yep.
And that's the beauty of these networks. I'm not a big sounding board guy of just going on a group chat with thousands of home inspectors and saying, hey, what does everyone do? Because you don't know who's going to respond. And I don't want to follow people who aren't successful. I don't want to follow people who aren't growing. I don't want to listen to them. I want to listen to people that are growing, that have the businesses that I want, that are doing things that are really, maybe they increase their inspections by 500 this year. Those are the people that I want to follow. So make sure you're filtering who you're listening to. Do not listen to everybody. If somebody doesn't have the business that you want, be cautious. I'm a big believer you can learn from everybody, but be cautious, right?
Yes.
So, listen to people who have the businesses that you want. That's the big thing. That really is a big thing. Making your own.
It definitely
is. Man, this is great. But thank you so much, Dave.
Sure.
Wow.
Thank you.
This has been such a great episode. We really appreciate having you on. I can't wait to have you back, man.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see you, Dave. See you, Joey. And we'll see you next week to the audience. Thank you very much for tuning in. And we have some great episodes coming up with some great guests. So we'll see you.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Thanks for listening to the Inspection Pro Joe podcast. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell so you won't miss our next episode. This episode was produced by Jake Aronson. This has been a Pair Payments production.